Hong Kong, 1958. A cold December night. Waves crash against the Victoria Harbour docks. The city's neon lights shimmer on the water. The streets are alive, taxis honking, merchants waiting for final customers, sailors heading to bars, singing songs. But in a small kung fu school in the Wan Chai district, 18-year-old Bruce Lee is about to learn the most important lesson of his life. This lesson will change him. Not just as a fighter, but as a human being. 30 people sit in lotus position on the wooden floor of the Wing Chun school. All silent, all attentive, all waiting for Master Ip Man's words of wisdom. The room is simple. White walls, a few traditional Chinese paintings, a wooden dummy standing in the corner. Incense smoke hangs in the air, creating an atmosphere of reverence. Bruce sits in the back row, legs crossed, spine straight as a spear. He's been training here for 6 months and considers himself the most talented student. He learns quickly, techniques come easily, he's strong, confident. Other students watch him with admiration, some secretly envious. But tonight, everything Bruce believes about martial arts will change without question. Master Ip Man steps to the center of the room. 65 years old, small in stature, but every movement reflects authority. His gray hair is neatly combed back, his traditional black kung fu uniform spotless and perfectly pressed. His hands are clasped behind his back, his posture humble yet commanding. Outside, Hong Kong's night chaos continues, but in this room, time feels frozen. "Tonight," says Ip Man, his voice soft but every word crystal clear, calculated to reach every corner of the room, "we will learn what true power really means. But first, ask yourself honestly, what does power mean to you?" Bruce leans forward, always eager to learn more, always impatient to reach the next level. For 6 months now, every day, every evening, every opportunity, he's been working on technique. Punching drills, chi sao, dummy work. His hands are calloused, his wrists strengthened. "What is power?" Ip Man asks the class, but his eyes are particularly focused on Bruce. No one dares to answer. These kinds of questions are usually rhetorical, designed to make students search for answers within themselves. "Power," continues Ip Man, as he walks slowly around the center of the room, each step calculated and effective. For most people is the hardness of punches, the speed of kicks, the complexity and impressiveness of techniques. How many stones can you break? How many seconds to drop your opponent? How many different techniques do you know? But this is only the most superficial layer of power, the visible part, like the small portion of an iceberg above sea level. He moves to the exact center of the room, feet shoulder-width apart, hands hanging naturally at his sides. An ordinary stance, nothing special, like an ordinary old man in an ordinary moment's ordinary position. True power, his voice takes on a tonal quality, loaded with wisdom, is control. But even more important, and what most of us never learn, true power is not controlling, not being forced to use your power. Bruce furrows his brow. Question marks appear in his mind. How is this possible? How can not controlling be power? Isn't everything he's learned for 6 months the opposite? Control, dominance, superiority? Ip Man carefully examines the faces of his 30 students one by one. He sees different levels of understanding in each. Some completely bewildered, some curious but lost. Some sensing something but unable to fully grasp it. The silence stretches and continues. Outside, the Hong Kong night goes on. Engine sounds of vehicles, people's conversations, distant music. But in this room, time seems frozen. "Who would like to attack me?" says Ip Man, breaking the silence softly but effectively. A deep, almost crushing silence descends on the room. No one dares attack the master. This would not only be disrespectful, but possibly dangerous as well. The master's power is legendary. "Bruce," says Ip Man, turning his eyes to his most talented, most ambitious, most confident student. His voice is soft but decisive. You come. Bruce's heart suddenly begins to beat strongly. Blood circulation accelerates. Is this an opportunity? A test to show his abilities? A chance to display the fruits of 6 months of training? He stands up, fighting the numbness in his knees and his excitement. He walks toward the center of the room, confidence and determination in each step. The other 30 students watch him, some with admiration, some with curiosity, some with worry, a few with hidden jealousy. "How should I attack, Master?" Bruce asks, bowing with traditional respect. "However you want. Your strongest technique, your fastest combination. Really try to defeat me. Don't hold anything back. Don't hesitate about anything." Bruce takes position. Wing Chun centerline stance, the form he's perfected over 6 months. Every muscle in the right position, every joint at optimal angle. He raises his hands, regulates his breathing deep and rhythmically, shifts his mind to combat mode. In his mind, all the techniques he's learned in 6 months flash by rapidly. Thrusting punch, trapping hands, Tan Sao, Bong Sao. Master Ip Man doesn't move at all, just waits, calm, ready. Then Bruce attacks. Chain punch, Wing Chun's most basic, most practical, and most effective technique. Bruce's hands move like lightning at 6 strikes per second, a perfect straight-line attack toward Ip Man's chest. The technique is flawless, the speed dazzling, the power impressive. He loads everything he's learned in 6 months, every day of training, into this single combination. But Ip Man isn't there. He didn't visibly move, didn't dramatically retreat, didn't make a classical block, didn't go defensive. He's just not there anymore. Bruce's perfect punches find empty air. The master's body has flowed away like water, as if he was never there at all. Bruce stops, breathing hard, sweat droplets running down his forehead, bewildered and incredulous. "How? What did you do?" "Try again," says Ip Man simply, as if nothing extraordinary happened. His breathing hasn't even changed. Bruce attacks more aggressively this time, more determined. Wing Chun trapping hands, much more complex, much more dangerous, close-range combat. He tries to grab Ip Man's wrists, tries to control them, then tries to strike from close range. He's very good at this technique. It's one of his strongest areas. The same thing happens again. As if Ip Man was never there, all of Bruce's techniques, all his training, all his confidence comes to nothing. The techniques he practiced most, that he mastered best, are completely ineffective. On the 3rd attempt, Bruce becomes truly disappointed. He used his best techniques, displayed his fastest combinations, tried his most mastered close-range combat, but couldn't even touch the master's body. "You couldn't defeat me," says Ip Man extremely calmly, his breathing still normal, not even sweating. "But I never attacked you either. Do you know why I did this?" Bruce falls into deep thought, sweat droplets running down his forehead, his heart still beating fast. Because you didn't need to attack?" "No, Bruce. Because true power is knowing how not to use power, not needing to." Ip Man again stands in the center of the room, 30 students surrounding him. Everyone is trying to understand this explanation. "Bruce, you will become a very talented fighter. I have no doubt about this. You're fast, you're strong, you're very good technically. But the most important thing you need to learn tonight is this. The greatest victory is the battle you never fight." A deep silence falls over the room. Everyone is trying to digest the master's words. For most, this concept is completely new, completely revolutionary. "Wu Wei," continues Ip Man in a tone that conveys ancient Chinese wisdom. Non-action, a Taoist concept. Not taking unnecessary action, moving with natural flow, harmony, instead of resistance. He takes slow steps toward Bruce. "You tried to defeat me. I didn't try to stop you. I simply stepped out of the natural flow of your attack. I spent no power, lost no energy, caused no harm, suffered no harm. This is the mark of true mastery." Ip Man carefully examines the faces of his students. Martial arts is not just the art of fighting. It is the art of living. Knowing when to attack is important, but knowing when not to attack is 1,000 times more important. Bruce sits collapsed on the floor, legs crossed, lost in deep thought. Everything he's learned for 6 months is now being re-evaluated in his mind. "Master," he says slowly, his voice almost a whisper, "then how do we use true power? When and how?" Ip Man smiles. For the first time this evening, a warm expression appears on his face. "You use true power only when necessary, and when the moment of necessity comes, you don't decide. The situation decides, circumstances decide, life decides." There's a deep silence in the room. Outside, Hong Kong's night sounds continue, but inside, everyone is lost in their own inner world. "Bruce," says Ip Man, "you will go to America one day. You will teach martial arts there. But never forget, the most powerful teacher is one who allows students to discover themselves, not one who tries to force change upon them." Bruce nods, but he can't yet grasp the full depth of this lesson. Years will pass. Bruce will go to America, start school in Seattle, open his own dojo, become famous in Hollywood, change the world. But that Hong Kong night, that silent lesson, will guide him through every phase of his life. That true power isn't controlling, but not controlling. That true mastery isn't winning, but avoiding war. That true teaching isn't imposing knowledge, but awakening wisdom. In 1973, in Los Angeles, Bruce Lee works with a young stuntman during the filming of Enter the Dragon. The stuntman is aggressive, trying to prove himself, using too much force in filming, creating risk of harm to other actors. "Slow," says Bruce calmly. "Flow, not force." The stuntman doesn't understand, doesn't take the words seriously, continues hitting even harder. Bruce stops filming. "Stop, sit over there." The stuntman is bewildered but obeys Bruce's authority. "Who is the strongest fighter?" Bruce asks, just as Master Ip Man asked years ago. "You, of course, Bruce Lee." Bruce laughs, remembering that old Hong Kong night. "No. The strongest fighter is the one who makes fighting unnecessary." The stuntman looks confused. What does this mean? Bruce stands up, approaches the stuntman. "Hit me, your strongest technique." The stuntman hesitates, then throws a quick jab at Bruce's face. Bruce isn't there. He didn't move visibly, didn't make a major defensive movement, but the punch finds empty air. "How did you do that?" "I didn't do it," says Bruce, as if imitating Master Ip Man's voice. "I allowed it. You attacked. I became part of the flow. Wu Wei." The stuntman tries a second time, same result, third time, fourth time. Never once can he touch Bruce. "Do you understand now?" Bruce asks. "Power isn't resistance. Power is harmony. Be like water." That day, the stuntman learns much more from Bruce Lee than just fighting technique. Life philosophy, not just combat. Being, not just fighting. And Bruce remembers that Hong Kong night. Master Ip Man's silent lesson, what true power really is. In 2020, that stuntman is now a 60-year-old experienced martial arts teacher, his own dojo in Los Angeles, in a modest building on the edge of Beverly Hills. Bruce Lee's photographs hang on the walls, old movie posters, traditional Chinese swords. He teaches the same lesson to his own students, to a small class of 20 people. "Who is the strongest fighter?" he says, just as Bruce Lee asked years ago. Students give various answers: UFC champions, boxers, karate masters, MMA fighters. "No," says the teacher, smiling, remembering that old Hong Kong night. "The strongest fighter is the one who makes fighting unnecessary." A young student from the class asks, "But Sensei, how is this possible? How can you be strong without fighting?" The teacher, the old stuntman, stands up, moves to the center of the class. "Let me tell you a story, a lesson I learned in 1973 while working with Bruce Lee." And he tells that lesson, Bruce Lee's Wu Wei philosophy, Master Ip Man's teachings, what true power really is. The students listen carefully, some taking notes. "That day Bruce Lee told me," the teacher continues, "be like water. Who does water fight with? What does water conflict with? But water overcomes everything. It penetrates mountains, splits rocks, but never directly conflicts. One of the students asks, "How is this philosophy applied in real life?" Very simple. When someone approaches you aggressively, don't oppose that person's energy. Direct their energy. If someone shouts, you whisper. If someone pushes, you pull. This is what Wu Wei means. At the end of class, that young student approaches the teacher. "Sensei, would you teach me this Wu Wei concept personally?" The teacher smiles, with the same patience Bruce Lee showed him that day. Of course. But first you must understand this. Teaching isn't forcing. Teaching is guiding the student to find their own inner wisdom. And so the chain continues. Master Ip Man taught Bruce Lee taught the stuntman teaches his own students. Each generation colors the wisdom with their own understanding, but the basic lesson remains the same. In 2023, that young student has now opened his own dojo, a small school in Phoenix, Arizona. The same photographs on the walls: Bruce Lee, Master Ip Man, and his former teacher. On the first day, a new student comes, aggressive, trying to prove himself, looking for a fight. "What is your strongest technique?" asks the new student. The teacher calmly replies, "My strongest technique is using no technique at all." "I don't understand." "Then you're ready to learn." And the lesson begins. That same old Hong Kong lesson. Master Ip Man's wisdom, Bruce Lee's philosophy, Wu Wei teaching. This is how wisdom spreads. Generation to generation, teacher to student, student to new teacher. That Hong Kong night in 1958 shaped not just Bruce Lee's life, but the thoughts of future generations. Because true learning transcends time and space. Master Ip Man knew that night that Bruce Lee would be not just a student, but a bridge between East and West, between traditional and modern, between physical and spiritual power. After taking that lesson, Bruce Lee taught not just fighting techniques in America, but life philosophy. Be Water, My Friend was born that Hong Kong night. Master Ip Man's Wu Wei lesson transformed into Bruce Lee's universal message, and today, all over the world, there are people who learned that lesson, from Los Angeles to Tokyo, London to São Paulo. All learning the same basic principle: true power is power used with love. True victory is victory won without defeating anyone. True mastery is knowing how to see everyone as a student. When Master Ip Man died in 1972, Bruce Lee cried at the funeral. He knew he hadn't just lost a teacher, but a father figure. That Hong Kong night, he had received not just a martial arts lesson, but a life lesson. When Bruce Lee died in 1973, the world lost a legend. But legends don't die, because legends continue to live through their true teachings. In 2024, in that old Wing Chun school in Hong Kong, a small bronze plaque hangs. Master Ip Man and Bruce Lee trained here, 1958-1959. Tourists take photos, but most don't know what happened that night. They don't know that in that simple room, one of martial arts history's most important lessons was given. True power is not visible power. True mastery is not flashy movement. True wisdom hides in silence. Wu Wei, non-action, the most powerful power. 65 years have passed since that Hong Kong night. Bruce Lee became a legend. Millions watched his films. His words were written on T-shirts. Statues were erected. But his most important legacy is that silent lesson. And this lesson continues to live. Because some lessons never get old. Some teachers live on after death. This is the power of silence.